give one example?
Yeah, this is one I like to share with people because it's very, I think it's very graphic in that I had a woman, actually, someone who I never even met, was referred to me over the phone. I do work with people all over the world, actually, on the phone as well as in person. And she, for several years, she was a young woman about maybe 30 years old, had major digestion issues. They were diagnosing her as food allergies, digestion issues, and through the Lifeline work, it went back and basically told, to when she was 12 years old. And as soon as I did that, all of a sudden she went, oh my God. And she remembered that when she was 12 years old, her mother had left her father and they moved in with someone who in a trailer, and there were roaches on the food. So the message as that 12-year-old little girl got was, food isn't safe. Mm-hmm. And literally after one session, she couldn't believe how much better she felt because her body just kept reacting because her subconscious still believed that food wasn't safe. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a great example of, here the typical Western medical profession was diagnosing her with reflux and, allergies and all these things.
But our mind can make us sick. It's
yes.
quite possible she had acid.
I was going to say, those physical symptoms were showing up, but at the base of that was this emotion, this belief that food wasn't safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alyse, why don't you talk about the types of clients that you see, and maybe give a clinical example of how you've helped one of your patients?
Sure. Well, I see a variety of clients that come for different reasons. Some of them have things that arise when they have different treatments, like I said, from practitioners, and other people may come at times of stress, or some come because they realize they'd like to lose weight, or they realize that they're just not eating well and would like the support to feel better. Mm-hmm. Many of the clients that come to see me for integrative nutrition have come around cravings for sugar. Mm-hmm. That's been the big one. Counseling clients have usually come for issues around what I call codependency or relationship issues or mm-hmm. addictions.
Well, what do you do to help someone who comes to you with, say, a sugar addiction or a sugar problem?
Well, when someone does come with a craving or a sugar craving, for example, we talk about not what makes you go get it, because our bodies are actually smarter sometimes than our mind is. Mm-hmm. And the body craves things for a variety of reasons. And so I work with the energetics of the food and the energy of your body, mm-hmm. Rather than things like calories and grams and things. So I'll work with the person to look at the diet and then help them to add in foods that are going to meet what the body's actually asking for, rather than take things away.
Now, I learned the 5-element theory, mm-hmm. The sweet, sour, salty, bitter, pungent, the 5 tastes, the 5 seasons. Is that the type of work that you do? You use 5 elements, or yin and yang, acid and alkaline?
Well, actually, I've been trained in all the dietary theories, mm-hmm. from raw foods, to macrobiotics, to Atkins. Mm-hmm. And what I do is I will do some Ayurvedic. We'll look into what a person's dosha is. Mm-hmm. When I'm working with people, we will look at metabolism, blood type, and also the 5 phases. Mm-hmm. I tell people to eat from the 5 phases and 7 colors every day if they can, mm-hmm. because oftentimes we're only eating brown and white.
Okay. And why don't you explain, can you give an example of like how you ate from the 5 phases today, or how you would counsel someone to eat with the 5 phases? Because our audience may not know what that means.
Okay. Well, there are the 5, or you called them the 5 elements, I believe.
Yeah.
Different foods fall under different categories according to more Oriental philosophy or Chinese medicine. And foods will fall under areas, wood, metal, fire, earth,
soil, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so different foods have a different property to them. And some foods, for example, if a person is needing to complete a task, they may end up eating more under the fire foods. Fire foods tend to be foods that are red and orange and the color of fire.
Okay, like an apple?
apples,
Corn? Corn would be a fire. I believe.
corn, salmon.
Mm-hmm. And typical fire foods grow at the middle of the summer, because that's the most fire energy.
Yes, and so the seasons. Also talk with people about eating seasonally.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to this, and so usually when people come to me around cravings or to work on learning how to eat healthier, we'll sign up, talk about maybe an 8-session commitment, because change takes time.
And how long are your sessions?
We work for an hour and twice a month when it's the integrative nutrition program.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, excellent. Anything else you want to
Well,
add?
I just wanted to say I have had success with many clients, and it's just so much fun for me to watch them and for them, obviously, to learn how to make new choices. I've had clients learn how and what's behind their desire to maybe self-sabotage, and they have new tools and they start feeling very good about themselves. And